as it is aimed at building continued relationships with our stakeholders. In shaping futures, we constantly explore diverse platforms where academics and potential employers can engage with future employees before they graduate. The dawn of COVID-19 pandemic ushered in a plethora of unprecedented changes. The pandemic has affected us all in one way or another. The impact that COVID-19 had on all facets of society means that more than ever before, we need to work together. As a region, we are grateful that today we have potential employers, academics, students joining hands together in order to assist in guiding us as a region to provide support, as well as guiding our students on the trends in the industry and also probably to absorb our graduates into the market. I have no doubt our graduates are more than willing to actively contribute in the economy of our country. We need you all to assist us as a region to improve on how to support our students. We need your experience, expertise, and guidance in how our students can go around navigating the current and probably future market needs. We see today is that unique opportunity to form partnerships between the institution and potential employers. To survive in our efforts to continue shaping futures during these turbulent times, we need to equip a nation with knowledge. The presence of both academics and potential employers today and the interaction you will be having with our students will go a long way in creating building blocks for those possibilities. I guess you all agree with me that COVID-19 pandemic taught us to put more focus on online learning, which has now become an imperative trajectory in education. The obstacle that we all need to join hands in overcoming for the sake of our students and the country is internet accessibility. This is one possible area of partnership between the business sector and the institution to assist our needy students to access information and participate in meaningful learning. With COVID-19 third wave in our midst, it does not seem like the year 2021 will be different from 2020. So we must just be prepared for the worst. Peter Diamandis contends that the nation that is wealthy, healthy, and more educated is likely to experience less violence and civil unrest among its populace. In the public debate, we sometimes ask, how can we secure future wealth and welfare of the institution and our country? When I sat down with Ms. Lepondo, our head counsel in career guidance, career development, to look at this event, I thought we have an answer to the question that we always had. I believe as a province, agriculture seems to be the best possible weapon for us. There is an expression in my language that says, which means the farm has potential to yield wealth. We have what it takes, industrious, bright young minds here today. We have land, and our students are here with their mentors who are able and very brilliant and are always eager to go out of their way to assist. And they are here today ready to engage with students and experts. An added advantage, colleagues, in agriculture is that agriculture finds expression in our principal's proposed niche areas. So all what we need is to be ready, is to be prepared, and to go down and see what we can do. We have heard so many times that our students are often not yet ready for the world of work. I believe this is going to be the beginning of a very long and fruitful and exciting relationship with the business sector. I would like to appeal to our students to make full use of this opportunity, engage with both academics and also employers, and discuss various opportunities. Do not forget, again, something that we often ignore, that academics could also be possible employers. Please do not be shy to ask questions. Remember what Walter Mondale said when he argues that if you don't ask questions because you are sure that you understand everything that is going on, then you are hopelessly confused. I hope that you will feel inspired to participate in this crucial exercise. This might be a life-changing moment for you. My appeal to all possible employers is that you please assist in every possible way, even if it would mean offering jobs or learnership programs to our students. We really need that. I therefore urge you to please join hands with us in assisting our future leaders, and by so doing, you would really be building a nation and you would be contributing towards the future of this country. Once more, we value your presence and contribution in this session. I would like colleagues on behalf of the Northeastern Regional Management Team, staff, and students, welcome you all and declare this session officially opened. Please enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Seputa, for that warm welcome and for reminding us of the role we're supposed to be playing in our communities as an institution, and a reminder to our students to engage as much as you can and to grab this opportunity with both hands. Our next speaker will be Ms. Maboa. She'll be giving us the purpose of the day. Ms. Maboa is a registered councillor in the Gauteng region, and she works as a councillor in the Johannesburg campus. Ms. Maboa, welcome.
Thank you so much, Program Director, and good morning to everyone who is here with us with all the protocols observed. My duty is just so small to just give you the reasons why we are gathered here today as students and the professionals in different areas of our duties. The professional events in UNISA were established last year in 2020 for the UNISA students in different colleges, when the counseling units in both Gauteng and North-Eastern region within their call of duties identified some gaps that are there in different fields which are hidden in the professions and careers. This includes what students should do upon completion of their qualifications in order to be professionals. For example, there are qualifications that one need to maybe write board exams or have professional bodies to affiliate with, or some qualifications that need further studies for one to be recognized as a professional. In this case, you will find that for, let's say for engineering, you will need to have a trade test for you to be able to be recognized as an artisan or maybe as an engineer. So now, as counseling unit in the North-Eastern region of Limpopo, we came up with a plan to bring together the current UNISA students with the graduates and professionals in their same field, in this case referring to students in agricultural and environmental sciences, as well as the ones in engineering studies. We all know and we all are aware that Limpopo is rich in agriculture and minerals. Therefore, we find this event to be very much fit for everyone to come together and learn more about what Limpopo produces on a daily basis. During this event, students will learn about their field of studies from different experts who will share their knowledge, skills of trade, successes and challenges in their line of work on a daily basis, as well as the opportunities in their current employment organizations. Experts will be doing their presentations, and students will be given a chance to engage with presenters by asking questions after the presentations are done. So with all that being said, please be welcomed and make sure that you have a notepad where you are going to write all the details and get as much information as possible from this, because after this, that's where you will be well positioned in your careers. As a career counselor, I know how difficult it is to engage with students in ensuring that they are following the right careers for themselves. So hence, as student counselors or as counseling unit, we came up with this so that you can be in touch. As students, you can be in touch with the world of work. Thank you so much, colleagues, for organizing this, and let's get together and learn as much as possible from this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mabua, for highlighting why are we here. Thank you very much. That was mouthful. And then we have on our program, Regional SRC for Limpopo Chairperson is Mr. C. Sambo, to also give us some address. The SRC visual platform is yours. Sambo. Mr. Sambo, are you there? Colleagues, it looks like SRC, they're still preparing.
Sambo is here, sir.
All right, platform is yours. Sambo is the chairperson for Regional SRC in Limpopo province. Platform is yours, chairperson.
Thank you. Firstly and foremost, I'd like to thank the program director, the organizers of this auspicious program for actually inviting the SRC at Limpopo to actually give a word of support to this program. I think everyone knows that North-Eastern region, both Mpumalanga and Limpopo, are quite rich in agricultural minerals, and therefore it is important for us to engage in these issues of how we can better the industry and also better position our students in this industry of agriculture in Limpopo, but also in Mpumalanga. Therefore, as the SRC, we thank you. We thank you very much as program as organizers of this program for actually engaging in such programs. And we hope that there will be more of such programs going forward, whereby more of our students will be engaging in such programs. For one, as the SRC, we want to show support for any program that will better position our students, not only within the institution in itself, but also career-wise. What we have noted is that there's lack of engagements between UNISA and outside industries in terms of saying, after here, our students will be needing vocational work, experiential work, and so forth and so forth. So we hope that when you have such programs, you'd actually connect our students with those who are in a position whereby they would give them employment or also vocational work or experience. As the SRC, we will show support in all ways, from pillar to post, to such initiatives. As such, here today, there isn't much I can say besides saying that we support the program and we hope that there will be more programs like this going forward that will better position our students within the institution and also in terms of employment and giving them better knowledge of their specialty. in their career, but also in their study. With that said, I would like to say thank you and have a wonderful program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sambo, for that, and thank you to the SRC for always putting our students' needs first. The next, our next speaker, so now we're going to get into the program of having our presenters. As Ms. Mabua mentioned, please have your notepads and pens ready to take as much notes as possible, and don't forget to post your questions on our chat box, and also a friendly reminder, please just switch off your videos and your mics so that only our presenters can be visible to us when they are presenting. Next is Mr. K. Letwaba. Mr. Letwaba is currently a lecturer in the Department of Civil and Chemical Engineering in our institution. He also holds a master's in chemical engineering and is a PhD candidate at the moment. Mr. Letwaba, please take the virtual platform and welcome.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, professors, students, and the organizer of this event. And I hope that today it will be like, you know what, a new chapter in some of the students and the colleagues, because it's like we are moving in the world whereby things they are changing. So as has been introduced, I'm Kabelo Ledwaba. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Civil and Chemical Engineering, and I'm also a researcher. I normally say to the student and to the, not only to the student, everyone, to say, how do we, every morning when we wake up, we bath, we do everything, and we bath with the water, and we normally, student, they ask themselves, how did this water become clean? Because it's like it was just a dirty water, but now is a clean water. And how did the water come to your house? And which process they being unfold of that water to come into your house? So this is what I normally ask the student when I'm giving the lecture at the university, because as the student or as the companies or as the colleague, we need to merge our career with the existing product that we are using every day. So where does chemical engineering fit? I normally pose this question: are you a critical thinker? I don't know if everyone can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Are you a critical thinker, curious, creative, risk taker? If this is in your brackets, or this is in your basket, then your name is chemical engineering, because you are thinking and you want to know how things they are, how things they be made. I've drank the water this morning, I bathed this morning, I used the soap and everything. How did I use, how did this product become product? So as the chemical engineering or civil engineering, we are playing a major role in our daily life. Like we were talking about the innovative, we're talking about the treating of disease, we're talking about the cleaning of water, we're talking about the generating of electricity and all those products. So normally we say to the student, and we encourage the student, when you see the load shedding as a chemical engineer or as an environmental engineer, you must see opportunity of being innovative. because we are talking about renewable energy. If you can check my slide, on the other side, you will see some dirty water. At the bottom, you will see some clean water. Again, on the other side, you will see that there is what we call biochemical cells. With these biochemical cells, at the end of the day, we've got the light, we've got energy, we've got a clean environment. How did this happen? It happened because of your thinking as a chemical engineer, as an environmental engineer, to make sure that you clean your water, you are able to use your science, which is your maths and your chemistry, to merge it so that at the end of the day, you've got your clean water. So this is where the chemical engineer, this is where we encourage the student, this is where because when we're talking about chemical, we're just not talking about something that is, you are dealing with only chemicals. We are dealing with a lot of things. Like we were in the pandemic, whereby chemical engineers, they're also playing a major role in the pandemic. They can develop what you call the nanotechnology stuff, where they can detect the virus. They can also do some small chip so that they can put it in our body, what we call biomoleculars. It's not only where you see chemical in small space, but it's a lot. So again, we are talking about renewable energy, whereby we are moving away from all this car, whereby we're using your petrol, your diesel. We are talking about the car that can walk, you can drive the car using your water, using the water that is producing hydrogen and oxygen. You are able to drive your car. This is where chemical engineering is being placed in the motor industry. We are shifting, as they've said, that we need to become the solution provider, the innovators in technology. As you can see, most of the work that you see on my slide is being done in our campuses at the UNISA campus, whereby we've got all these facilities, whereby we are researching to make sure that at the end of the day, as the researchers and as the student and as a university, we are managing the problem that is there out there in the industry, in the cooperative. So we are talking about, as you can see, we've got the car that need to be moved. This car, the chemical engineer or the environmental engineer, they are playing a major role. From my first slide, I show you water. I say you've got your dirty water. At the end of the day, you've got your clean water. But I never talk about actually what makes water. You've got your hydrogen and you've got your oxygen. From your hydrogen and oxygen, it can become a fuel for our car, which is, at the end of the day, will have a clean environment. So it's where the chemical engineering design, the curiosity, the creativity is playing a part when coming to kind of this innovative. So a chemical engineer is where we are involving in many areas, whereby we design like this. Normally you can see most of the students, I know they like Tesla, they like and you'll hear that even now the BM are moving to what you called hydrogen fuel car. This is where.
Sorry to interrupt you. Please just make your presentation a slideshow so it can be clearly visible for everyone.
Come again?
Please just make your presentation a slideshow so it can be bigger and clear for everyone to see.
Is clear now, or?
It's there, but it's a bit small. So if you can just enlarge your screen, make it a slideshow.
Tabelo, please go to F5, press F5, then I think it will work.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So yes, I'm just going to go to. Okay, everyone can see my screen now.
Yes, they can. It's nice and big.
So I was here whereby I said the we are here, we are talking about where we are playing, where chemical engineering is playing the major, where is the area where we find ourselves, and there is a lot. You know, when they say the pie is big, we are talking about chemical engineering, because we are in the biochemicals, we are in the chemicals, we are in the energy, we are in the material, and we are talking about even in the design. Normally every day you hear about the stats whereby they are saying we've got this, the number of people were being infected with the corona, what, and all the stuff. And we're talking about the material that they are being used. Chemical engineering, they are also playing a part when coming to those materials. They design those materials, they make those materials, so that at the end of the day, whatever the need of our community or the need of our people, they can be met. So this car, you'll see a lot of car is in South Africa, or also the Department of Science and Innovative. They are working with a hydrogen ISA, whereby because South Africa, we've got a lot of platinum, we are trying by all means to have those minerals to be used for as they're being used in our car, but we are also coming with innovative way whereby we can use those materials together with the new technology to have what you call hydrogen storage and have the nice renewable energies. So what are the criteria for you to become a chemical engineer? Some of you guys, I know you are already the student in UNISA, but UNISA has the criteria whereby, you know, your maths and science, they are playing a major role, so that at the end of the day, you can be part of us. On this slide, most of these are our students, whereby they were studying with us from level 1 until they've completed their studies. And after completed their studies at the university, we are mandated to also to empower our students with our facilities that we are having. So as we can see, most of the students, we normally absorb them to our campus so that they can be trained, they can be empowered. But the requirements is maths and science. And with maths and science, we know that whatever problem that you are having, if you've got the problem of water, if you've got the problem of energy, you are going to use your skills and knowledge to solve those problems. So what are the career paths in chemical engineering? And as we said that we are moving with the changing world, UNISA is also adapting those what do you call it, the new world, whereby we've got the new path, the new career path in UNISA. You've got what you call a new chemical engineering, which is a 3-year diploma. But in those 3 years diploma, we make sure that our student, the qualification it has all the requirements so that the student, they can face the world. Like you've got the 4R, you've got your computational, you've got your skills so that you can present it to the industries. And we've got the graduate that we have produced from UNISA. As you can see the picture there, these are the students that have been with us from the national diploma until they got the training in our facilities at UNISA. Then we've got what we call advanced diploma, which is your known as your BTech, but now we are phasing out the BTech. We've got your advanced diploma, which is also, it is packed in the such way that when the student, they complete out of UNISA, they are able to be marketable. Like in this course, in this advanced diploma, you've got the modeling, you've got the simulation. You are able to say, okay, as much as you are in the pandemic, how do we predict the numbers? How do we simulate the numbers? How do we make sure that whatever material that is needed, we are able to provide as a chemical engineer? You are able to stand and say these are, and in this module, you also have the project whereby you, as a student, you are able to go to the industry, work with the industry on their project that they are having as a problem. So then you've got your honors degree, whereby your studies becoming more in depth and you're able to understand and you are able to provide some solution. Then you've got our MEng, which is where it is a research base, and our research area is focusing on water, nanotechnology, renewable energy, and sustainability. All are the things that at UNISA we make sure that at the end of the day we are able to be not far behind, but to be at the par with the innovative and the technology that is there in the world. So as I've mentioned, what are the requirements to be in UNISA? And after you completed your diploma, your advanced diploma, your honors and your masters, what are the credits? Because one thing that we need to know, our qualification is registered with Engineering Council of South Africa, whereby even if after you completed your qualification at UNISA, you can go to anywhere in the world and your skills will be competent in those world that you are. So this is how we empower our student. We've got a wheel, which is a work integrated learning. So student, every year we take 10 students. So we started this thing 2016, and we invite the industry to come and be with us, give us the project. If they've got the project that is a problem at their companies, and we give those project to our student. Besides the company coming to our student, we also go and visited the company, and our student take some of the project in those companies. We've been in many companies, like as you can see, these are our students from UNISA, going to ESCOM, going to Rand Refinery, and at Rand, I will just give an example at Rand Refinery, whereby they were having a problem with their cooling tower, and one of the students, because the cooling tower, they need to cool their process in the gold refinery. One of the students from UNISA, he took that project and said, I'm going to design you guys a project that is going to be suitable for your cooling tower. Then we bring at NCPs, so whereby the students are also being, we arrange with the NCP that they will take our student for 2 months at the NCP and 10 months at our campus, so that they can see what our campus and the industry, what is the missing link, so that at the end of the day they can be able to help them. So besides our qualification, and as I've mentioned that you are a professional, if you are a chemical engineer, or you are a environmental engineer, or you are a civil engineer, you are required to be a professional registered. So this is to make sure that you are able to deliver your competency and your skill to the world. This is the route how you register with EXA. If you've went to the route of a national diploma, BTech and MTech, you start as a candidate engineering technician, you go to technologies for your BTech, and you go to a candidate engineer with your MTech. And with the new route that UNISA is also taking off your BEng, your honors, you start as a professional engineer, professional certified engineer, and professional engineering technician. This is how, and when we say you are registered with engineer, if you can check on my screen, you'll find that you've got a product, which is a final product, or you've got you've developed a system. So that system can be it can be a technology that can be used at Sasol and everywhere. As an engineer, you are certified to say, yes, I'm from UNISA, this is what I've designed, and this is, as an engineer and as a XR registered member, this is what is happening in your company, and I'm selling this thing. I'm certified to be a professional engineer. This is what is happening, and this is what we encourage our student to be part of it. So beside registered, you also have we've got a lot of career opportunities in chemical engineer. You can become a bioengineer. What is a bioengineer? So as I've mentioned, and I've mentioned because of what we need to match our career with the existing world. We are in the pandemic. Where does the whereby the biochemical engineer fit in? So you as a biochemical engineer, you'll be able to learn the disease and to engineer the nanotechnology that is suitable for this disease, and which is where UNISA and in our department we are starting to branch chemical engineer to biomolecular engineer, whereby we need to see this knowledge and skill being able to play a role in this pandemic. Then we've got environmental engineer, which is you need the clean water, you need the clean environment. So how do we make sure that whatever design that we've heard is suitable and is able to meet the demand of the clean water? So this is what we see. You are able to become a technical cell engineer. Even in food, you are able to process the food industry, and even in the process engineer, process controller, and even in all those design, there are a lot of career. There is a lot of opportunities even in mining, even in metallurgy. There is a lot that as a chemical engineer, you can have those opportunities. So besides being at UNISA, our student, they are empowered with our facilities and equipment that we are having. So as you can see on this slide, we've got companies came to UNISA and says, we can see that you've got facilities. How do we collaborate? How do we empower your student? And this where we start with the research. As you can see, we are busy researching whatever the company or the stakeholders, or the universities, different universities having their problem, they are able to come and say, let's collaborate. So we also collaborate with a lot of companies and universities because of what we are having as a resource. And I also encourage the student. You'll find that some of the students, they finish their studies, theoretical studies, but they don't have in-service training. They don't have like the skills to go and face out there. They are able to contact us and says, I don't have an in-service training. I completed my theory modules, and can you guys please help me? You are able to help the student. You are also able to take those students to the company and say, here are our students, and they are not working, and this is where they need to be empowered, and we are able to empower them. But with our facilities, we by all means give the student the research that is the problem to the society, so that they can able to bring the solutions to those societies. Then this is part of our student, and we are working together. And thank you for listening to me. I don't know if I've still having some time.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Adoro. Yes, you were mindful of the time, but I just want to remind our presenters that you don't have to leave once you presented, because at the end of the presentation, we do have some questions from students. But thank you for the interesting presentation. I am confident that students learned a lot and they noted their questions down, so that during questions and answers, then they will be able to do that. And also to remind them to post those questions on our chat. So the next presenter, we do have Mr. P. Mutana. He's a project manager from Thembaletu Development, Limpopo Division. Over to you, Mr. Mutana.
Thank you, Program Director. I want to pass my greetings to our beloved students, the academia, and the corporate world that is present with us this morning. I'm here to present on agriculture as a career field. Will it be visible? Can you see the other side, colleagues, the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Oh, can you just enlarge it here so that I can? Not the introduction part. My apologies, they are just enlarging the presentation for me.
Kavelo, can you assist that side? Because here it looks like I don't have an option or a control. Yes, thank you.
I'll not go to the profile of the presenter. You'll read it on the presentation. Now, the focus on agriculture as a career field, the topics to be covered are the importance of agriculture as a career field, the practical successes and the challenges that one may experience in the field, and how you go about affiliating to the bodies that are there in the field. And of course, the code of ethics that is expected of you as a graduate in the field. Now, agriculture is simply defined as a science or a practice of farming, which is engaged in food production to make food sustainable, food security sustainable. But apart from this, apart from this, you still have agriculture not being really given the consideration and the attention that it deserves. Prof, when in his introductory or welcome remark, indicated that this is an important field where he highlighted the issue of Lihumolejachimung, but unfortunately, I mustn't sound like I'm negative. We still have a perception out in our communities where agriculture is not viewed more as a professional field. It is relegated to the lowest ranks of the career ladder. And I am appealing to you as the prospective graduates in the field to please work hard to promote the field of agriculture so that we are going to have it, young guys loving it, because currently they don't have much interest in it. But at least we are happy that you guys have decided to choose agriculture as a career field. Agriculture, it is the economic lifeline of any country throughout the world. Without it, you do not have food security and industrialization. It is the core of local economic development. If we focus on agriculture, we will not have a problem of small-scale economies mushrooming throughout the country. We need agriculture to have industrialization. Now, we have career opportunities and the placements that we have for agriculture. In agriculture, you have a variety of career opportunities. You can become an agronomist or a crop production scientist. And if you have this type of qualification, you'll have job opportunities in your research institutes like your Agricultural Research Council, your CSIR, which stands for Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. You can have employment at the Department of Agriculture. You can also go into farming yourself and get involved in the agribusiness. And then you can also get employment in other farming estates that we have in the country. And lastly, of course, you can become a lecturer at a tertiary institution. Then you have the agribusiness, which has to do with value adding to agricultural produce. And in the process, you can also do distribution thereof. And for such a person in agribusiness, or if you are in agribusiness, you can engage yourself in the milling industry, where you have to change maize into maize meal, wheat into flour, and you name it. You can engage in fresh produce markets. You can work for companies like Grain SA. You can go into the retail. I mean, you can deal with retail chains like your ShopRite, your Spar, and you name them. You can also have the banking industry. You can work in the banking industry, or you can get involved with export and import companies. Then thirdly, you have an agricultural economist, and this field has to do with economics in the agricultural field, where you can do marketing, you can do policy analysis in agriculture, you can do where you also help farmers optimize the factors of production. You can be a consultant. Now, the other fields where you can get employed is your banking industry. You can go and work for the banks that are in the country to help give advice on agricultural economics. Then you can also get employed in fresh produce marketing, where you can also serve as an agent for farmers when they bring their crops. You are the one serving as a middleman between the buyer and the seller. And then you also have the Department of Agriculture, which also can give employment for you. And then you have the agricultural engineering, which has to do with the application of engineering science and design principles for agricultural purposes. And can I just here deviate a bit and say, give a challenge to our fellow students, that South Africa is awash with all the resources that you can think of in terms of production or whatever, but we do not have a company in South Africa that produces tractor, for instance. We don't. We only have in the civil engineering Mr. Ivan Bell in Durban, who produces the civil engineering equipment like your bell, your whatever that they use in the mining industry. But for agriculture, we really don't. All the tractors that we have in the country are important. And this is a challenge to you guys who are doing agricultural engineering. Come with an innovation of helping us have our own tractors that we produce in the country, or also design agricultural irrigation equipments, maybe that are better than the center pavers that we have. We have a gentleman or a company in Nelspruit that does what we call floppy irrigation. I'm saying to you guys, the field is awash with opportunities. Go out there and come up with designs that can help us. Now, for employment, for those who will be looking for employment If you are an agricultural engineer, of course, you'll go into agricultural equipment manufacturing industry, which are the companies dealing with the tractors that I was just referring to, though they are just assembled in the country, but they are not South African by production. And then you have the Department of Agriculture. You can also work on the commercial farm estates. And of course, lastly, you can become a lecturer at a tertiary institution like UNISA. Then you have agricultural research. This one has to do with in-depth analysis of crops, livestock, fisheries, forests, and the environment as well. Now, your place of employment, if you are in research, will be the ARC again, the CSIR, and of course, the tertiary institution. Then you have the animal science or husbandry, which is concerned with the science of producing domesticated animals like your cattle, your sheep, your goats, etc. Now, with the knowledge of science in animals, then your place of employment will be the commercial farming estates, your feedlots. Feedlots, this is where we fatten the animals to produce meat. You have the poultry industry, if you are involved in poultry. And then, of course, you have the tertiary institutions where also you can work. And then you can go into your own farming business where you can do either you can become a feedlot producer or you can go to the Department of Agriculture to get employment. And then you have commodity marketing. This is more related with the agricultural economics, but here you'll be a specialty in marketing a particular commodity. Say, for instance, tomato, or it can be cabbage or whatever. You can be a specialist there to say, when we talk the commodity, then we know in terms of marketing, so and so will be doing that. But in terms of employment, then you have your fresh produce markets, like City Deep in Gauteng. Locally here, where I am in Limpopo, a fresh produce market that is familiar is Hosiame, just down in the industrial side. And then you can work for Grain SA, you can work for commercial farming estates, and of course, you can also get engaged in the export and import of these commodities. I'm not sure who is doing this for our great tomato producer in the province, ZZ2, but currently you go overseas, you'll find a tomato that comes from South Africa. So obviously someone is engaged in seeing to it that the tomato that is produced in Limpopo, it's shipped from South Africa into the foreign lands. Can you move to the next slide, madam? Then you have horticulture. Now, horticulture has to do with plant propagation and cultivation to improve plant growth. Now, for someone who has done horticulture, this is a very, very important field in the sense that you can propagate 2 different species of plants, and you come up with a hybrid that will be good. Like you can have 2 types of grapevines, you join them, and then you produce something different. Now, for such a profession, you'll have employment opportunities in the nurseries, or you can do your own, or you can go for, you can do a landscaping company wherein you do the landscaping for your hotels, your industrial parks, and you name them. And then, of course, you can also be employed in commercial farming estates. Then we have soil science. Now, with soil science, this is the art of working on the resource, on the surface of the earth, including how the soil is formed. you classify it, you do the mapping, you do the physical, and you check also the chemical composition thereof, the biological composition. Now, with such a knowledge, agriculture is actually thriving because of the knowledge of soil science, wherein you do soil analysis and then you check as to what are the nutrients requirement for a particular plant, and you advise farmers on how or what type of fertilizer to use in a particular soil. Now, with such knowledge, you can get employment in commercial farming estates, the Department of Agriculture, tertiary institution as a lecturer, and of course you can work at research institutes such as ARC. And then can I just indicate here that I have a student that I taught in my career, teaching career years, who is currently registering for a PhD, and she wants to do, she's a soil scientist. She wants to see how the mining, you can see how the mining is doing. They just take out the soil, you have dumps and dumps, and that soil is useless. Now, she is trying to go and do research as to how can we recycle that soil so that it becomes agriculturally compatible and it becomes useful. And for me, that is very, very a great innovation. You'll pardon me. I'm not sure if it's my technology. It's just messing me up a bit here because I see I don't know if someone is because something came here while I was still on.
Rashid, move back to the slides.
Yeah, of course. Then the last aspect that I touched on as career opportunities is the issue of veterinary science. Now, this is also a very, very important profession in the sense that if we do not have the science of dealing with diseases in animal, then we will not have meat industry. This is a very, very important field of study. And people, you have the veterinary doctors, you have those that do veterinary technician or veterinary nurses, and of course, added to this could be animal technicians, animal health technicians. Now, with this type of qualification, of course, you can work for sandparks, you can work for the commercial farming estates, you can work for the Department of Agriculture, or you can go on your own and become a private veterinarian for the farming estates out there, because they need these services through and through. As long as a farmer is a livestock farmer, then he would need the services of a veterinarian. You can move to the next one, madam. Thank you. Now, after having qualified in those career fields, one would be required to register with the professional board. Mr. Ledoba has already alluded to this. Now, this registration is a statutory mandate by government. But before you register, you need to acquire a form of an experience, a number of years in your particular working environment, so that when you go and register, there will be a requirement of how many years you have worked in your career field, and then you'll be registered as such. Now, I've just taken the 4 fields which I feel are more important for one to consider. And this is the engineering, one body which guys in engineering must do. It's the one for Engineering Council of South Africa. Mr. Ledoba has already touched on this one. And then you have the South African Council of Natural Scientific Professions. This covers a range of agricultural qualifications like your agronomy, your livestock, the animal husbandry, and all your soil science, those that I've touched upon. And then you have the third one, which is the South African Council of Professional and Technical Surveyors. This one covers your horticulture profession and that of land surveying. Then the fourth one is the South African Veterinary Council. This is for the vets, those who have studied animal health science. Now, the next slide, madam. I've just designed a table just to indicate which field falls under which. Like I have the registration board. For that engineering council, you will have agricultural engineers, and then for the Council of Natural Scientific Professions, you have all agricultural scientists, like I've indicated, you are animal scientists, you are soil scientists, and a range of other professions. And then for the South African Council of Professionals and Technical Surveyors, you have the landscape horticulturist and the land surveyor. And then, of course, the last one is the one. The next slide, madam. The next slide, madam. Thank you. Now, for that registration that I've already alluded to, if you want to be registered as a professional natural scientist, you need a recognized 4-year Bachelor of Science degree, or an honors thereof, or a postgraduate diploma. And the experience that has to go with this will be 3 years. You need to have worked in a particular field there for a period of 3 years, then you can go and register for that professional natural scientist. And for someone with a master's degree, you need 2 years working experience. Then you will register for that particular field of study, the master's, the field of study in master's for whatever you shall have done. And then for a PhD or doctoral qualification, it will be a 1-year experience. Then you can go and register. Can we move to the next one? Now, the Code of Ethics for the profession of agriculture. Now, you would know that, or the Code of Ethics has to do with the do's and don'ts of whatever profession in a particular, or in a company or an organization. Now, these are legally charged issues, and it has to do with the following. When you deal with Code of Ethics, you're saying you are expecting from you to respect your fellow brothers and sisters in a working environment, or anybody in the street. You respect their views, even if you differ with them, but you have to respect their views. It is expected of you to respect them, and you want them to treat you as you'd like to be. You treat them like you want to be treated. And then, of course, we expect justice. By justice here, we mean you view things objectively and not subjectively. Even if you like a particular thing, you look at the facts and you come to the conclusion or judgment based on facts, not because you love that particular thing. That is objectivity, and that is justice. You shall have done justice to whatever situation you are confronted with. And when you make judgment, you make it on the basis of the facts and not your feelings. Then lawfulness, it means here you have to do things within the bounds of the law. You don't do things that are not lawful. And then accountability and competence. Here you are dealing with the issue of accepting full responsibility of your actions. Whatever you do, you take responsibility thereof. And of course, in order to remain competent, hard work is expected of you. We expect you to work hard. And then lastly is the issue of teamwork, which always has to do with striving to be a collaborative with whoever you are working with. At all times, you become collaborative. Where we differ, we show each other views, and we don't just differ for the sake of differing. You become collaborative. The next slide, madam. The next slide, madam. Oh.
Rashidi, the next slide.
Thank you. Now, there are issues of success and challenges. Now, in any given situation, we expect success. Now, for success to take place, the first thing that is expected of one is passion. Unfortunately, I did not indicate it here, but I feel it is important just to bring it in that as someone who has taken a career in agriculture, you must not have taken this career for the sake of coming into the field. You must have passion for what the profession that you have taken. Be it if you want to be an agronomist, you must have passion with working with plants. If you are an animal scientist, you must have passion for working with animals. And if you have passion for what you are doing, the profession that you have taken, then there's no way that you will fail. You are going to be successful. There will be success. And secondly is the issue of you are going to be employed out there and you come into a working environment. You're going to find people there who are already in the field. They know the nuts and bolts of that field. As you come in there, you don't become pompous because of your qualifications. You humble yourself, you take a back seat, you observe what they are doing, you listen to the advice that they are giving to you, and you watch them do the work. Even if they are junior within qualifications compared to you, you respect them, you take the advice that they give. And with such, this will be your learning curve. And in the process, you will be acquiring the experience. And with that, you are going to be successful. You don't become big-headed and tell them how qualified you are and you start to differ with them. You humble yourself, you learn from them, and you grow. Then also, the issue of success comes with being hands-on with what you are doing. You have to be hands-on. You don't delegate. You do less delegation. We don't say you must not delegate, but you do less delegation. You become hands-on so that you are going to know what is going on in your environment. And when you know what is going on in your environment, you are going to be able to see where things go wrong. You rectify them, and at the end, you are going to be successful because you shall have closed all the loopholes that might rear an ugly head and then they let you down. And then, of course, there's the issue of also as someone coming with theory at tertiary institutions and wherever you are in a school setup, mostly it is theory with a bit of practice, but which is less. Now, you put into practice what you have learned out there into reality. You put the theory that you've acquired, you now put it into practice. And when you do that, do it with diligence coupled with hard work and paying attention to details. It is very, very important to pay attention to details. Can I just give an example of saying, if you are going to have to vaccinate an animal, you don't just say, take, I think this you have been told, you don't just take the medication and start putting the injection in there and then draw and dip the injection into the animal. Read the instruction to the letter. If they say 5 mils, let it be 5 mils. That's an example of paying attention to details. And with that, you are going to be successful because you have followed the instruction to the letter. The next slide, madam. Oh, thank you. Now, there are challenges that you are going to find in every setup. There are challenges with possible solutions. And I mustn't be sounding like a prophet of doom, but the reality is the first type of challenge that some of you might come across is the issue of the prospect of unemployment, either for a short time, a medium, or a long term, despite your qualification. You might get to this, you don't find job, you go there, you don't find job. That is the reality that is out there now. Now, if you come across such a situation, don't despair. The best you can do is, with your little knowledge that you have acquired from the university, start a small business. Here, I've just given an example of you go for a business that is less expensive to start. The rearing of indigenous chickens. I think everyone at his home or whatever, there are chickens out there and you don't look at them that much. That is money. Those chickens there, that is money. For your information, those chickens for now, they are going for 70 rand each. Now, if you have 10 of them, you already have 700 rand. If you look after them, that is an industry on its own. You shall have started small, but you may end up big. You also go for vegetable production, just the production of spinach, and then you shall have made it. And then one other issue is there's a lot of expectation for you coming out as a new profession, a professional in the field. A lot will be expected of you, more especially if you are dealing with the farming community. They see you as a knowledgeable person. They expect you to do miracles. That is the challenge you are going to get. Now, out there, humble yourself. If you are requested to do something, check the situation thoroughly. Do not promise things that you cannot do. And if they ask you questions and you don't have answers, don't be ashamed to say, I don't have answers. Tell them you don't have answers, but promise that you'll go and look for an answer and you come back and report so that you build the confidence. Because if you don't, you have promised and you don't fulfill your promise, then you shall have lost the confidence of the guys that you are working with. And then, of course, another important issue that may come as a challenge is hostility from co-workers. Sometimes you come into the profession and you find people who are not really liking you, and just these are some of the things. The last one, madam, I see my time is running out. And then you have the danger of comfort zone. You come in, they pay you large sums of money and you feel comfortable, you no longer upgrade your studies. Please don't do that. May I say this, that I am a victim of this one, where you come into the profession, when the salary is good, you don't upgrade yourself. It's a problem. And then, of course, you have lack of access to resources. For those of you who want to start business, please, you are going to meet a challenge of not getting resources to start, but don't despair. And of course, the last one is a challenging working environment, wherein people don't ask you questions. And in that particular instance, you relax, and then you are not going to be competent. And then, of course, in conclusion, I will not repeat the importance of agriculture. I just want to say, guys, thank you for having chosen a career in agriculture. Know that the country is looking upon you, or is dependent upon you for food security, because without food security, there's no life. Agriculture is life. And I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Machana. A reminder to our guests to please just switch off your videos and your mics, please. Just a friendly reminder, please. Thank you. Thank you so much for that presentation. And also a reminder again to our students to please remember to fill in our evaluation form that is both in our Teams chat box and on our YouTube chat box as well. And then our presenters are also reminded to please just keep time so we can squeeze everybody in on time and have enough time for our question and answer session. Our next speaker is Ms. S. Muchengetwa. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. She holds a master's in statistics and is currently a lecturer in the Department of Statistics in our institution. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, everyone. Can you see my presentation?
No, we can't.
Oh,
Mr. Sbusiso, please just switch off your camera. Okay, now we can.
You can see my presentation, isn't it?
Yes, please just remember to make it a slideshow. Make it wide
I'm
enough.
going to do that just now. I'm going to do that. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Again, I say good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for inviting me to share the beautiful subject of statistics, which you find everywhere. Now, I'm going to make my presentation available so that at the end, I'll send my presentation to you. This will be the structure of my presentation. And what people say every time is, why do we need to study statistics? You find that in the home, you use statistics. If you want to share money among your children or among siblings, it means you are going to do some calculation on how it is distributed, and that's statistics. You find that statistics is typically, you can say it in 3 ways, where you turn data into information, because without information, people cannot plan, cannot do anything. The government, if it wants to plan that people need houses in South Africa, there's no need for more universities. They need to find the statistics. They need to find where out there, where the things are what are there. So it is the discipline where in the central sense, you are making sense of data, trying to turn data into information and be able to use it for planning purposes. Now, you find that in every day, we need to make decisions. We need to interpret information, even to make to decide on what you are going to do. Are you going to go to church or are you going to watch a football game of Kaizer Chiefs? That's a decision which you are applying statistics. Are you going to get divorced or you are going to stay with your wife or a husband? Again, that's a decision which you need, for example, to gather data, to think about people involved, the stakeholders, your parents, your children. All this is statistics. Now, it is critical to learn statistics because we use it in everyday life. Whatever we do nowadays, you find that every program at university, whether it is agriculture, whether it is medicine or what, people learn statistics because whatever their disciplines are, they need to gather information. Now, I want to start off with a report from the World Bank. And this report was very crucial, especially to women. The World Bank in 2019, in its quarterly demographic report, indicated that there are 5.6 billion women in the world, and men were 2.2, which means the ratio of men to women was almost 1:3. Now, these statistics were an advice to women to say that women should carefully show, be careful to show any attitude to men because men are a scarce commodity. Why? They said out of the 2.2 billion, 1 billion are married already, 130 million are in prison, and 70 million are mentally ill. Now, it means we are just left with 1 billion. Out of that billion, 50% were found to be jobless, 3% were gay, 5% were Catholic priests, 10% are your relatives, and 35% are above 66 years. So the thing was, to ladies and gentlemen, whenever you think carefully, the women should think carefully if you've got a good husband to treat him well, because men are a scarce commodity. Indeed, these statistics will make anybody who wants to shout at their husband to treat their husband with caution. Now, there are observations which have been made about statistics. As I have said, it is offered across all disciplines in universities, but we have got a reluctance of students to study statistics at university level. I shall dwell on that one. And you find that it is highly associated with mathematics, computer science, economics, and actuarial science. And you find that when our teachers are teaching us at primary and secondary level, they tell us that statistics is very difficult and mathematics is very difficult. The minute those students it's embedded in their mind, there is now a misconception that it's difficult. But to tell you the truth, things which are difficult are things like history, because to cram the deaths of what war went on, that what happened in that, it's very difficult. But with mathematics, you've got sort of a systematic way and statistics of doing things. So you find that because of this misconception and what people think, because they are figures, let in our everyday life, we do budgets, we calculate things in their home, which we are applying at the end of the day and be able to make decisions. We are applying our statistics. We don't find it difficult. But when the minute we enter a class, you tell a student to find the average, they find it very difficult. And I appeal to educators to make sure that they make students understand that this is not a difficult subject. It needs you to go systematic as you do it. You find that educators nowadays, they tend to have statistical background at a basic level. But you know that with the development of technology and things, what we used to do 20 years ago is not like that, because the computers are doing like that. It means we need now advanced application of statistics in order to face the problems and be able to apply real life problems. Now, in order for you to do statistics at university level, you need to have minimum entry for entering university. And unfortunately, you are supposed to have pure mathematics, not mathematical literacy. If you have mathematical literacy, you cannot be able to do statistics at university. And then you find that qualification criteria, you can be able to go at each website within the country and across the world. You find that each website will tell you what they want if you want to do a career in statistics. And the qualification, it differs whether a university is a distance learning university or a university is not a distance. And I like what Mr. Master said a while ago. You find that we have got a misconception to say that if I do statistics, I'll get jobs. If I do medicine, I'll get jobs. In every job is the way you carry yourself, like what he said, to be humble and to be able to be knowledgeable in what you do. You find that there are some jobs where people are saying literally you cannot get jobs, but some people are getting jobs where it's the way they carry themselves. Now, the qualifications in statistics, you have got a BSc General Mathematics and Statistics, where you can proceed to an honors in statistics, a master's in statistics, and a PhD in statistics. And you find that there are other jobs which are associated. You can be a biostatistician, you can be a business analyst, data analyst, quality analyst, actuarial, sports analyst. You find that every time Kaizer Chiefs is playing with the Mamelodi, you've got those analysts trying to look at the games, and they'll be putting the statistics. If you are a person who looks at some leagues when they play, you see that even in sports, you've got statistics. Even in church, you find that every time there are quarterly reviews in church where they bring you statistics of what the church has got, the money which they've got, how they are going, whatever they are doing. All this is statistics. It's everywhere. where you go in banks, you apply statistics. In the people who are doing actuarial, they apply statistics. Economics, agriculturalists, they apply statistics at the end of the day. So you find that in 2006, there was a survey which was done, and they found that the hottest skilled of people being hired in South Africa were statistical analysts and data mining. And you find that the best graduates were biostatistician and statistics. So you find that right now in the 2019 at a SASA conference, they indicated that most of the people who were statisticians in South Africa, they are retiring. And the South African Statistical Association was indicating that they need more future people in order to take a career in statistics. Now you find that with a career in statistics, a lot of things a statistician can do. You can summarize data. You can look at information, be able to put meaning into it. Even when people are quarreling in the church, to analyze that information and be able to come out with, say, let's go this way. It's you're applying statistics and you are doing that in a qualitative manner. So you find that all the data collection which we do in our workplace and how we do in agriculture, how we do our experiments at the end of the day, and how we use in economics to estimate models, and you find that in business to project what is going to happen in terms of a company, all these things are in statistics. And you find that for you to choose a career in statistics, if you are a student, you need to have a strong mathematical background. And you find that the science of statistics is a challenging career which provides job satisfaction and excellent career opportunities. As I'm sitting here, people come with data which you say, every time you find interesting data, which you solve world problems, you apply mathematical and statistical knowledge to economics, to political, ecological problems. That's why you find that when we are close to election, people will be going around collecting data to say who is going to be favored in the next election, and then they make projection. That's all statistics. And then you find that you can be a consultant where you consult other professions, attend conference seminars, or even the presentations which I'm doing, which I'm doing at present. And you find that all these are statistics, and you find that that's where you talk of research. And there are so many fields where you employ statistics: agriculture, law, computer science, education, engineering, health science, genetics, sports, you name it, at the end of the day. And you find that it is used, when we use statistics, you find that we need to do a lot of things. In health, disease need to be controlled. Look at the COVID-19 epidemic. You find that for the president to decide when to put the country at lockdown, at the end of the day, he would have looked at the statistics and have seen that the people with the new we are contracting the virus are now high. Then the country should go into lockdown. When we are also looking, I think you have had countries where children are limited to say that you are going to have either one or two children. Why? Because the population of that country, it's now out of hand, as we have seen that we need to control the birth and the death rate. So all these things, they don't come about if you don't study statistics. In order for us to say this is an endangered species and it is protected, it's because people have found the statistics and they found that that species is what it's dying off, and then they come to say, please, let's try to keep this thing by preserving it. So these uses, we want to present data in a concise and definite form. You find that when you present your data, you should present your data which can talk to the people. You cannot present something which is not talking to the people. And to be able to do that, you need to know about statistics. You need to understand the statistics, how you classify and tabulate information. and it will make you understand complex and large data. If you are just given figures like 1,000 students, their performance in a test, and then you are asked to comment on that, it will be difficult for you to comment whether the students have done well in that particular subject. Or you are asked right now, what are the employment rates of people who have done agriculture program. It will be difficult for you if you don't tabulate and then put in a diagram of how many people have graduated over the years and how many people are with jobs and how many are not. And then you can say at the end of the day, people who pursue the career in agriculture, what percentage is being employed immediately when they finish school, what percentage is being employed after a year, what percentage is being employed after 2 years, all sorts of those things, and what percentage have gone into entrepreneurship. That is the beauty of agriculture. There are so many entrepreneurship opportunities where you can start your own business. Now, for comparison, every time we want to compare, even when you're walking in the street, you compare yourself with the person besides you. If you are a lady of those ladies of who are young, they want to see whether they are dressed beautifully, they're their counterpart. If you are mothers, you want to see whether you are taking care of your children better than the others. So you find that it's all about comparative analysis. If you are a father, you are with your family, you want to outperform the other, to do well for your family. If you are in church, you want to outperform the other and to show God that here I am the child of God, I'm here for you. So all these things, it's for comparative, and for comparative purposes, you need to compare the data, and the data which you see, it can be another family, it can be information which are given. When we form policies, we need to come out with trends in business forecasting, trends in how people, for example, medical aids, which medical aid is better, what policies of that medical aid are better than the others. You find that all these policy formulation, even government to farm to say they want to do low costing housing, here they want to do medium cost housing, all those things, they come from statistics. Our individual experience, again, when our experience in the world, it's a whole statistical process. If we gather that data, you can even write a book of yourself talking about all these things which you have done at the end of the day. And you find that statistics have made countries to grow. We need countries to grow at the end of agricultural growth, educational level, and health-wise protection in terms of the army. All those comes from statistics. Now, having said that, you should know that data alone cannot talk to us. We need to change data into information. That's where we need our statistics, because there's no way we can turn data into information without statistics. And information is the key to planning and making decisions. Now, there are professional boards in statistics where one can join as a statistician. We've got the South African Statistical Association here in South Africa, and there are several across the world. And one which is very good is Royal Statistical Society. In Royal Statistical Society, you can join and then do board exam and the like. But there are many across the world. Now, in conclusion, I say to you, statistics will make your world go around. Let's talk the talk and walk the walk until we distill data properly. Thus, we are supporting what we say, not just with words, but also through action or evidence. Data alone cannot talk to us. We need to turn it into information. And that's the reason why we study statistics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Edwa, for wonderful presentation. So we do have another presenter, is Professor M. Mavelevele from Animal Health. He has PhD in animal science and is associate professor in our university, and is wide to NRF rating. Prof, platform is yours. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues, and thank you for the organizers for a lovely presentation, and thank you for our students for making time available today. And I'm going to share my slides. Just a moment. Are you able to see my slides, Rachidi?
Yes,
Yes,
Prof.
we are.
Thank you. Well, I just want to take this moment and thank Mr. Maibana, who gave a presentation on agriculture, and I think he's done such a lovely job. And my part is to focus on animal health, which is a branch of agriculture. And I just want to allude to the points that Mr. Maibani made that I think are really critical to know before I go into my presentation.
Prof is Mr. Musana. It's not Mr. Maivani, it's Mr. Muchwana. I was just dealing with the technical issues.
Thank you. So he indicated that agriculture is a major contributor to food security, and that's one, and it's probably one of the main contributors to the national GDP, and also one of the main or major employer in South Africa. And according to Dr. Blade Nzimande's latest speech on critical skills, agricultural scientists are named or are regarded as one of the scarce skills or critical skills in South Africa at the moment. So we are in shortage of agricultural scientists. And so it is important for our young people to actually consider or venture into the field of agriculture because it is so important to the nation. And like I said, I'm going to be focusing on animal health, and livestock generally is a source of food, and therefore healthy animals contribute to eliminating hunger. So at a national level, preventing and controlling diseases grows economies. So it is important that we contain diseases, we prevent diseases in order to grow our economy. And sick animals affect global trade. Currently, we have a situation in South Africa with the avian influenza. So, and our animal health technicians, our veterinarians are working so hard in order to contain the disease, the spread of the avian influenza. I'm sorry about the flights. I'm next to the airport. They contribute. Animal health technicians contribute significantly in making sure that there is no spread of diseases. So the avian influenza, right now in poultry farms in Gauteng, some farms are being closed down because of the diseases. So that does not only affect the farmers, it also affects how we trade with the chicken in South Africa. And at a farmer level, like I've already said, if we do not control diseases and prevent diseases at the farmer level, then the farmer's financials are affected. And so in UNISA, we offer a diploma in animal health. So you need a national living certificate or a national senior certificate with a diploma endorsement and at least 50% of language of teaching and learning, and that is English, and also 50% in mathematics. Like the previous presenter said, math literacy, no, it's pure maths. And in addition, if you have at least 40% in physical science, life science, agricultural science, you'd still be accepted in the diploma in animal health, and your APS should be sitting at 18. Where can you work as an animal technician? So once you get admitted into a diploma in animal health, you are studying towards being an animal health technician. But where can you work? Now, animal health technicians help the vets in various tasks. So you include getting the animal ready for surgery. If an animal is injured, you need to operate the animal. If an animal is sick, you need to operate the animal. So getting the animal ready for surgery is one of the tasks of an animal health tech. And you administer first aid and prescribe medicine to your animal patients. You monitor the condition of your animal patients. And you also perform nursing tasks and doing medical tests. You might also work in a private veterinary practice or in animal hospital. And also, you might venture into a research job where perhaps you help the vet or the researchers or scientists into biomedical research that involves animals. So if we want to test a certain drug on animal or rats, I think that handling process or that assistance, the animal health technicians would need to assist the scientists involved in the research. And so I asked one of my colleagues to just tell me how her day looks like as an animal health technician. So she said, now, my day would usually start with ordering drugs or medicine. And so we'll check previously what stock we have used and what stock is needed in the next day. We would also admit animal patients into the hospital and make sure that the owners are known of the status of the animal in every process that we have admitted the animal patients. And also, yes.
Your slides are not moving.
They are not moving. They are moving on my side.
I don't know if it's on my side. Rashid, you can also check on your side. Yes.
Are they moving now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the next thing that you need to do is to ensure that you have the discussion with the vet about all the cases that you have in the hospital and what needs to be done. And then finally, she said that up to 2 p.m. I'm between the theater and checking the kennels and also treatments of wounds, x-ray and anesthesia of animals that needs to be booked by the vet. So this is how a day of an animal health technician would probably look like. And the next one is what are the successes and challenges of an animal health technician's job? So the first one that was highlighted was that we need to euthanize animals, and that is a challenge, meaning that when you euthanize animals, you actually need to kill animals because you can't solve what is wrong with them, or you can't operate them, so you need to humanly kill them. And I think that is one of the challenges that they have indicated. And a success is when an operation goes well. I think that for every animal health technician is a highlight. When an animal is sick and you probably operated and the operation is successful, that is one of the success stories they mentioned. And the presenter on professional affiliations mentioned this part, that you need to be registered with South African Veterinary Council. And so, for example, if you are a UNISA student, the first thing that you need to do while you are at UNISA is to ensure that you register as an animal health student with the SAVIC, or the South African Veterinary Council. In order for you to even do practicals, you need to maintain your registration throughout the years of your degree until you complete. Now, once you complete, you also need to register as an animal health technician so that you can continue to handle animals. So this is really important, and I think I'll send the slides through. There's a website where you can go and check what are the requirements for you to register as a student and also as a practicing professional. And with code of ethics, CEVIC does not impose its code of ethics to students, but only to practicing animal health technicians. So as students, you pursuing animal health, you are only bound to the code of ethics in UNISA. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof, for that presentation. I hope our students are taking notes and taking notes of the guidelines of registrations that you've mentioned and of the marks needed as well. Our next presenter is Dr. Sibola, and Dr. Sibola holds a PhD in animal science. Dr. Sibola, the virtual platform is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Let me just load my slides. Are they visible?
Yes, it is. Just make it a slideshow, please.
Okay. As they mentioned that my name is Dr. Sibola. I'm in animal science. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Motsana and Prof. Mabilebele on elaborating the importance of agriculture in our day-to-day lives. So, okay. There's no argument that one can take on how agriculture, contributes to our day-to-day sustainability. As recently, there's been on media on how we should make an awareness of the importance of farmers in our lives. So acknowledging that the farmers are the backbone of our society, and their knowledge, their knowledge and their hard work keeps us fed in day-to-day, activities. So at UNISA, we offer a 4-year Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. So it's divided into various streams. So I'll be focusing on animal science. So you need to have a national certificate degree endorsement to be able to be admitted for animal science. A minimum of 50% in languages, specifically English, because it's our communication mode. And then also 50% in mathematics and physical science or life sciences. So your OEPS should add up to 20 points. So this is how UNISA calculate the APS. So I believe by now everyone knows that how the system works and the calculation of the points. So animal science. Animal science is divided into different categories. So we have animal nutrition, we have reproduction physiology or animal anatomy and physiology, and we also have breeding, animal breeding. So when we start in the first year of the 4-year degree, what we do is you do all of these things together. And then when you do your master's, that's when you will decide if you want to measure in animal nutrition, reproduction, or breeding. So we focus on different livestock. It can be your dairy animals, beef, swine, sheep, poultry, or even rabbits, because now they are being introduced in the food chain, and there's a lot of market for them, even internationally. So Animal nutrition basically is our day-to-day feeding of the animals. But it's not just, I remember when I was in high school, when they talk about agriculture, I was just limited to, plowing the fields or just taking the goats out or cattle. But when I got to university, I realized that there's more to it. There's more of science to agriculture. And the interesting part of it is you can work in the field, you can work in the laboratory. So animal nutrition, you have to be able to design a ration, a feed that will meet the nutritional requirements of the animal as it happens in humans. Because if we don't meet our nutritional requirements as humans, we end up getting sick. So same applies to our animals. And if we don't get a proper ration for our animals, you end up having a product that is lacking, okay? So normally there's this say that often people will say there's no difference in the eggs or the meat quality, eggs are just eggs or meat is just meat. No, there is a huge difference that, that's why we have different upstandard markets and the low standard markets, because of the product quality. And it's very important to promote agriculture, animal nutrition in a way that we can be able to give our consumers, product of quality. And then when we talk about breeding is basically having to understand the genetic composition of our animals. What can we do to improve or optimize the production of our animals, the performance of our animals? Because even if your animals can, perform at their optimal, but if they're not nutritionally fed based on their daily requirements, they will not perform. So either dairy, beef, swine, sheep, or even poultry, depending on what you want to measure, okay? So when we talk about reproduction basically we talk about the genetics, the reproduction performance of our animals. Meaning, for instance, I've just given an example here of a chicken, okay, a rooster. So here, the first slide, we're collecting the semen, okay? The semen from the chicken, and we analyze it. We want to see if the semen quality, is it appropriate? Can we use it? Can it be able to fertilize? Or can it be able to, can it be able to be used for mating or artificial insemination in a case where we don't want to practice a standard breeding methods? So you can see here, this one, I hope it will play. So this is it's a video of rooster sperm cells. So what do we do in reproductive physiology? We study all these things. We study the egg quality, from female animals. We study genetic materials from male animals. So it's the science behind everything. There's science behind everything, and it's mostly at high school stage, we just think agriculture is just agriculture. Agriculture is boring. There's more science to it. Same applies to what reproductive physiology in humans do. We also apply it in animal science. Okay, next slide. So employment opportunities in the field of animal science, as Mr. Motsana already elaborated on this, I'm not going to be dwelling much on that. So we can work as an animal husbandry technician, feedlot, research institutions like Agricultural Research Council, and also now as a lecturer. I'm a senior lecturer at UNISA, and I'm also a researcher. So I do both. I do research and I also teach. So it's very interesting to be able to know that agriculture is not just the basic, the normal, way that people, we used to portray it, but it's with research with research, we are able to improve on how, our ancestors used to practice agriculture to a new reformed method that helps us improve our food chain. So you can look at that on job opportunities, as Mr. Mutsani already spoke on them. And also you spoke on professional affiliation, which is SAGNAPS. I'm not going to dwell on that. And different categories, which one can be able which one you qualify when you start working, when you're not working, but you maybe have a diploma, you can be, be called a candidate or a certificated scientist. And then the top of the range one is the professional scientist. Okay, so professional scientist is when you have your master's degree with let's say, work experience of 2, but when you have your PhD, you can just have at least 1 year of experience. And also as an animal scientist, we fall under a society called South African Society of Animal Science. This is where you apply to be a member. We meet on annual basis to conferences, we share ideas on research, we share on our results on how we can keep on improving production so that we can meet the population's demand on food. So that meat eaten every day. I'm sure some of us woke up today, maybe had bacon and eggs. That is agriculture. That is animal science. So it's very important to look at agriculture in a different eye, because if we don't have these farmers, we're doomed. We're doomed because we won't have food on our table. So come to UNISA and join us, in the field of agriculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Subola, for wonderful presentation. Indeed, without agriculture, we don't have foods. I remind students to also pose questions around ICT. There is Mr. Romero to answer those questions. But then for our next presenter is Dr. P. Dr. M. Bida is the Senior Lecturer in the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. He holds Master's degree in Engineering Management and is a registered technologist with Engineering Council of South Africa. Doctor, virtual platform is yours. Thank you. You can unmute, Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. And, good afternoon to everyone. I'm trying to share my presentation here. But I don't know what is happening. You can bear with me. You will tell me if you see it on your side. My computer is very, very slow, so just bear with me. Because when I click share here, it shows that there is no available files. So,
Doctor, you can send your slides to Rachidi so she can project that other side.
okay, let me do that.
Thank you.
I've just sent it now. Have you received it?
Not yet, sir.
While we're waiting for our presentation to be clear, can we just take 2 minutes of your time, if you haven't, to fill in our evaluations form? The link should be somewhere in our chat box, both on YouTube and on our Teams channel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rachidi, are you receiving it?
I haven't received it as yet.
My computer is very slow. It's showing here sending message.
All right. In the meantime, let's remind students that they can also ask about ICT questions, because there is somebody who can answer them. Thank you.
Or maybe I can present and then I will send the slides later. I don't know if it's fine with you.
Yes, doctor, just proceed.
For the sake of not wasting time.
Exactly. Thank you, doctor. Just proceed. Kabelo will project once received.
Oh, okay. Okay. My name is Mutibedi Peter from Mechanical Engineering. I'm a senior lecturer there. I'm going to present about mechanical engineering. Firstly, one can want to know what is the mechanical engineering. It's one of the most diverse and versatile engineering field. Mechanical engineering is the study of objects and systems in motion. The field of mechanical engineering touches virtually every aspect of modern life, including the human body, high complex machines. There are key roles of mechanical engineer. A mechanical engineer plays a key role in a wide range of industry, including automotive, aerospace, biotechnology, computers, electronics, micro electromechanical systems, energy conversion, robotics, automation, and manufacturing. There are some requirements for being admitted in mechanical engineering. So it's a national certificate, rating of 4 in maths, English, and physical science, and 4 maths and engineering science with minimum mark of 50%, senior certificate with mathematics, physical science, and English, and then national certificate whereby we require English, maths, and engineering science with minimum of 50. Yeah. We have an old qualifications and new qualifications in mechanical engineering. So the old qualifications are diploma NQ of level 6, which will be offered until 2023. So we are not taking new students now. We are just dealing with students on the system at the moment. And then the BTech, which is NQ of level 7. This one will be offered until the end of this year. So starting from next year, we'll be doing a new qualifications. So those new qualifications are diploma, also NQ of level 6, advanced diploma NQ of level 7, which is replacing the BTech, and then the bachelor's of engineering, technology honors NQ of level 8, and then master's NQ of level 9. So you can see if the students are not finishing their qualifications in time. So these are the challenges, because before, after completing your BTech, you go straight to masters. But now you have to do honors before you can do your masters. I think I'm on slide 8. So a diploma in mechanical engineering, you have to do theory modules, and then you have to do experiential training, which is 1 year. So for students who cannot get companies to do their in-service training, here in mechanical engineering, we have a project, we call it Mesita Project, whereby we take our students who cannot get placement, and then they come and do their training in our workshop there at Florida campus. So the registered student can apply, and then they can join the team there. At the moment, we have students who are doing P1 and P2. So in P1, we do intensive training of safety, intensive of inventor, whereby the students will teach them how to design using AutoCAD Inventor. Then we do hand tools training, power tools training, and welding training. So you can see on the pictures here, we have students here who are in front of the computers. They are busy with inventor training. Then the one on top there, they are busy with their hand tools training. Then we also have students who are doing P2 when they complete their P1. So in P2, we teach students how to manage the project. We teach them how to design and fabricate any system or component. Then we teach them problem solving, presentation skills, report writing, and working as a team. If you can see the pictures here, the students are busy fabricating mini Baja car, which is an off-road car. So on the other picture, the students are busy with a solar-powered car. And then the two pictures at the bottom, they are designing, and the other one, they are cutting the materials, whereby they're using the power tools. Then these are some of the projects that the students have completed in our workshop. We managed to design and fabricate the solar-powered wheelchair. You can come to our lab, you can see it. And then we managed to fabricate 3 off-road cars. and then the scrap bin, as well as the manual wheelchairs. Then the projects that are under construction at the moment in the lab, the students that are busy with the solar-powered car, as well as the double-sided toolbox. So as an engineer, we have to solve community problems. So that is why me and the students, we decided to come up with a project whereby we can assist our disabled community members. That is when we designed and fabricated this manual wheelchairs, which we are going to donate to a disabled person in our community as community engagement. Then in mechanical, we also have a competition whereby the mechanical engineer students, they design, fabricate the off-road cars, and then they compile a design report, and then they prepare a presentation, and then they go and compete with other universities. Normally, this competition is held at University of Pretoria, whereby all the universities in South Africa, they go there and participate in this competition. Then they assess their design report, they assess their presentations, then the cars, there is a endurance race whereby all the cars will race, and then we see the winner there. The last time we participated in this competition, it was in 2019, before COVID. So when we have completed mechanical engineering, there are certain areas where you can work. You can work as a designer. You can work as a maintenance engineer. You can work as a material scientist, whereby maybe you work in companies like Mittal, whereby they produce steel. Then you can do some material testing there. And then thermodynamics, you can work in companies like Eskom, power generation. And then manufacturing, you can work in companies like BMW for manufacturing of cars, and other manufacturing companies which manufactures maybe components, systems, and so forth. Also, you can work as fluid mechanics. You can work in companies like Rainwater as an engineer there. So when you have done a diploma in mechanical engineering, you have an opportunity to work in different fields. Then also, as a mechanical engineer, you have to register with EXA. The previous speakers have spoken about this thing a lot, so I'm not going to go into it. You can register as a candidate engineer, candidate engineer technologist, candidate certificate engineer, candidate engineering technologist. Normally, when you completed your diploma in mechanical engineering, you start by applying for candidate engineering technologist. Then when you get some necessary experience, then you can climb the ladder and register for PR. So here the professionals, there is professional engineer technologist. This one is when you have higher qualifications, or you have also have acquired necessary experience. So in 2021, the average monthly salary of a mechanical engineer in South Africa earned 14,500. I mean the lowest The average is 31.5. The highest is 50, but you may find that some people are earning even more than 50,000 a month. Then my other slide is whereby I want to show students the top 10 highest paid professionals in South Africa. The highest is a software engineer, and then the lowest is a chartered accountant. These amounts are per annum in rents. Thank you very much. Sorry about what happened earlier, Chair, and everyone. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peter, for that presentation. It was well received, and also to encourage our students to visit our campuses, as all our speakers keep speaking about the opportunities that we have on our campuses. So please do yourself a favor. If you ever feel unsure about anything, visit our campuses and talk to our specialists, and they'll definitely help you out. Our next speaker is Dr. K. Semenya, and this is Dr. from the Environmental Science Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Let me get my slides. Visible on your side?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. I don't even know what to talk about because I am the last speaker and they have took all the weight from my mouth. I will just try to fit in. Thank you everyone that is here. Thank you students. Thank you to the previous speakers that took weight out of my presentation. Colleagues, we can agree that the future... Sorry?
Doctor, can you put your camera on?
My camera. You want to see me? Okay, no, it's fine. I'll put my camera on. Okay, can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. Thank you very much.
Okay. We can agree, colleagues, that the future looks uncertain. And this is due to globalization, the use of technology, and the pandemics. As it was evident with our COVID-19 that we find ourselves in, hundreds of millions of people lived through lockdowns. Many others have made an abrupt shift to working from home, while others have lost their jobs. Work environments will never be the same. We just do not know yet how different it will look. So you as students, I'm sure you have started asking critical questions. One being, will my chosen career sustain me after graduation and even beyond? We want jobs that will sustain our lives. Well, if your chosen career is environmental science, be rest assured that as the environmental conscience grows, so is the need of an environmental scientist to help tackle global environmental challenges. Environmental science, colleagues, is a holistic and a multidisciplinary field that integrates the biological, the physical, and the earth sciences, as well as the social, political, and cultural methods which impact our planet. The goal of environmental science is to understand how the earth works, and how it supports life. As an environmental scientist, you need to identify pollutants in the environment that we're living in. That is why in most cases, our research is more on water, soil, and the air. We sample water, air, and soil to check the pollutants that are in there that might, in return, harm our health. Once we have collected our data to check those samples, we also prepare reports to advise sometimes our government officials, those that are in charge of policies, to maybe come up with regulations. That is what we are doing. Some environmental scientists and specialists focus on environmental issues, while others focus on issues relating to human health. Either way, they work on critical issues, solving some of the most important problems of our days. Okay. The most entry jobs in environmental sciences will require that you have a bachelor's degree in environmental sciences or environmental management or any other field such as microbiology, chemistry, physics, geoscience, or even engineering. It is a broad discipline, colleagues. In some department, in order for you to advance, you might need to have a master's degree. Well, should you find yourself in academia, like some of us, you will need to have a doctoral degree, because it has been said that schools start at grade 0 up until doctorate. Anything in between is a dropout. So in academia, we do not need dropouts. You are encouraged to study up until your PhD. I am sorry if I have stepped on anyone's toes. In addition, colleagues, to your formal qualification, like in any other careers, Mr. Ntate Muthibedi has also identified some soft skills. You will need to have some soft skills, such as your time management, your planning and prioritizing responsibilities, clear communication skills, problem solving, and effective organization. These types of skills are naturally learned and will be improved as you study and work with others. In terms of employment, there is much on the offer, and on my screen I'm just sharing. I hope they are clear. I'm just sharing a little that are available. There is a lot more that can be done with environmental science as a discipline. You can find yourself working for a non-governmental organizations, governmental organizations, private sectors, educational institutions, or you can even come up with your own company. On a membership registration with a professional board, Ntate Mutani and other previous speakers have done well on this one. They have indicated the importance of registering with a membership, and in our department in environmental science, this is just the most popular one, the South African Council for National Scientific Profession. You need to be registered. By joining a professional organization is beneficial. It will be beneficial to you as a member for your development in the department where you find yourself in. And these memberships will differ depending on which organizations you find yourself in. I have also noted a question on the chat from David where he was asking in Tateli Dwala if he or she can be registered with a professional body while studying. Unfortunately for this one, the South African Council for Natural Scientific Professions, you need to have completed your qualification. You need to have 80% of science subject, and you also need to have experience. Tate Mutani has also said that others will require a 3 years experience. So it somehow becomes difficult to be registered while you are still a student. So now, code of ethics. My previous speakers have also done well in this one by identifying how you need to handle yourself in the work environment. Tate Mutani, I have liked what you have identified there. So I am thinking I must just bring it back to the environmental department, just touch on 2 other than what Tate Mutani has already discussed and add to what he has already spoke about. In environmental studies, we believe that humans are part of the society as well as other living creatures, which includes your plants and your animals. Agricultural people will agree with this one. So now we need to we need to respect these creatures, being your animal and your plants. You have to show respect for those when you are in environmental studies. One other thing, we need to embrace diversity. You will find that you are working with people that are different from you. In some cases, you might not agree on certain things, but that does not mean that they are wrong and you are right, or is an opportunity for us to disrespect each other because we do not see things from the different point of view. So let us learn to respect each other and embrace diversity. The last one that I will talk to is good work relationships. You need to have good working relationships because it is through healthy relationships that you as an individual, you will develop in your career. Good relationships, colleagues, are not only good for in our workplace, they are also good for your development. These relationships, you are not going to start them once you are employed. You must start working on them now when you are still a student. You need to maintain good relationships with your fellow students so that in future, when you are all employed, you are going to need each other. So you must be able to go and you must be able to grow together. You must be able to call one another when you find yourself in different organizations that you will be working on. As in my language, they say, "Muthu ke muthu ka batho." I am because you are. We need those relationships. Program director, I will leave it at that. Thank you.
Dr. for wonderful presentation. And thank you for those presentation presenters. So now it's time for questions and answers. And are going to be facilitated by Ms. N. Bagwa and Ms. T. Magu and Mr. T. Maluledi. Colleagues, I'll hand it over to you to facilitate the questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maebane. There's a question from our YouTube channel, and it goes like, It has always been a concern for many years that farmers are victims of crime. How far has the sector come in terms of addressing this?
Can you repeat the question again?
Okay, it says that it has always been a concern for many years that farmers are victims of crime. How far has the sector come in terms of addressing this?
Thank you. Maybe Dr. Simenya, Mr. Mutana, and Prof. Mabilibele and Sibola can assist.
Can you kindly repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
Okay. It says that it has always been a concern for many years that farmers are victims of crime. How far has the sector come in terms of addressing this?
Oh, as the farmers, I think we'll leave it to Mema Vilevile, Mesebola, and Ntate.
Thank you. I don't know if I'll be doing justice to answer this one, but I need to indicate that I don't think there's a way in which the sector can really deal with the issue of crime. That will be the competency of the Department of Safety, which is the police. Agriculture, I don't think really they can do anything about it. You have the agricultural organizations, they've also coming out crying for help. So there's no way the sector can really come into this one. That's the way I view it.
Thank you, colleagues. Maybe let's take 3 questions, and from there, then we'll continue.
Thanks, Mr. Maivani and all the presenters. There's a question from Lydia, who's working as a chemist. She holds a qualification in chemistry. And then she says, I am completing an environmental management qualification with UNISA soon. How do I transit myself into environmental field without related experience?
And then another question.
Yes, and then this one is from Gavin Monet. He says, I'm currently in the field of industrial microbiology and biotechnology. Can you please elaborate more on how this field can be matched with chemical engineering and agriculture? Can I repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's from Gavin Monet, and he says, I'm currently in the field of industrial microbiology and biotechnology. May you please elaborate more on how this field can be meshed with chemical engineering and agriculture?
All right, thank you. And another question?
And the other one is, am I able to register with ECSA as a candidate while studying as a student at UNISA, or can I only register after my qualification is complete?
All right, thank you. Maybe panelists can just use the icon just to raise hand if they want to respond to the questions. Mr. Lutwava.
Good afternoon again. I'm just going to answer the guy with the industrial micro bowel and how does it relate to chemical engineering and environment. So when I see this question, I was so excited because my master's project, it was more into micro organism. So the microbiology, it fits very well in chemical engineering, also in agriculture, because also in agriculture, as the chemical engineer, we depend on your what you call biomass. Like after you farm, we want those whatever that you don't use it, we turn into what you call biofuel and biorefineries, with what you call renewable energy using our technology, which is called gasification. When you check my slide, there was a lady who's holding the biomass, which is coming from agriculture. So we are converting those to get those biomass to get some fuel and some product, which is your fine chemicals that you find it in your soap and also in your other chemicals that you are using at home for cleaning. So with the industrial micro bowel or a micro bowel fuel, you can generate the electricity also, and you can also use it in the nanotechnology, whereby we are able to detect the viruses on or implant the nanotechnologies on the chip, on the computer chips, to put it in on your body to see either your disease that you are having, your blood circulation and on all the stuff. And also when the micro bowel breaks down, they release what we call organic chemicals. I don't know if I've answered the Monet, but if he wants more elaborated, and that's why I encourage the student of UNISA to make appointment with us just to see what we are talking about, and we do it practically so that when they view the world and they view their career, they are able to match the two. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Udwaba. By show of hand, for other questions.
We have another question for Mr. Udwaba while we still have him. The chat box from YouTube, I'll read it. How would this equip a student living with disability and as in the rural areas, as this is where most agricultural activities are taking place, and what advice can you give to the student? And the second question from the same student is, how is the college planning to incorporate and encourage this population of students to take this kind of study?
When I saw that question, it was more of agriculture, but yesterday it was very interesting when I was listening to Power FM, and which is I believe my colleague here, Dr. Peter, we've got what you call the 3D printer, whereby you can do your farming via the technology. Even if you are disabled, you are able to. And with the disabled, I'm not sure what kind of disabled it's talking about, but with the 3D printer, you are able to tell your ground, your seed, whatever that you want, to produce what you want with the 3D printer, which is more of from the chemical side, will do what you call artificial material. Then from the agricultural side, you are just going to design your soil and your landfill the way you want it. You are able to measure your water and your condition of farming or agriculture. So which are those things that as we say, we are more innovative. And it was very interesting that the students, they need to know that everything is possible nowadays with the engineering and the agriculture because of the technology that we are having at our campus. So again, I don't know if there is another question that I've missed, but with the disability, okay, again, we normally have what you called a open day. We move to the regions. We go with the to the region. We go to the expo, and we also call the companies. Like we normally what we have we have a student in Durban. We have a companies day whereby the companies, we sit with the companies and says, here are our students, and can you explain to our student what the shortcoming in your companies and what skills are you looking at? And as the university, where should we concentrate on it? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that.
There's a question from Gavin Michael. Have you considered the use of AR-UV radiation for the prevention of livestock infections?
Please just repeat the question.
Have you considered the use of AR-UV radiation for the prevention of livestock infections?
I think this one goes to one of our animal scientists. Dr. Sibola or Professor Mabelebele. Can you please take that question for us? Are they available, Dr. Sibola or Dr. Prof Mabelebele? Are they available? Okay, we'll come back to that question. Also, a note to our students, if you have a question, you can raise your hand and then we'll call you out so you can unmute your mic and you can say your question out loud if you don't feel comfortable typing out your long questions. Can you please read out the next question, next set of 3 questions?
Okay, here's the next one, and it's from Cindy Swa. After completing higher certificate in environmental science, can I qualify for soil science? Okay, I'll repeat the question. After completing higher certificate in environmental science, can I qualify for soil science?
For soil science. Soil science is a subject we do not in our department have a qualification that is basically soil science. But my understanding is when you're doing a higher certificate, you're doing it so that you can qualify to do a diploma or a degree. But then soil science, it will become a subject unless if they have a qualification in that is soil science in agriculture, of which I don't know. But then in our department, it is then a subject.
there's a question from Davids. Are the new engineering qualification, diploma, bachelor's of engineering technology honors, and the masters all accredited by Engineering Council of South Africa?
Can I respond, Chair?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes, they are accredited. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have our next question, please?
It's another question from Corey. I would like to know why the civil engineering students do not get training on various software, as the project requires the use of software, but many students don't have the knowledge to successfully complete this task.
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I believe the problem that we're having as in the Department of Civil, it was like we used to use external lectures, which is they were not giving too much attention to our student, but we have solved that problem by hiring a lot of internal lectures. But if the student they've got any question or any query regarding that, they are welcome to forward me the email or email our secretary or our CODs. But we have a best lab and the best software in the civil engineering department, and I'm sorry to hear that the students they were not able to get the access of the software. And another thing is like also some of the software they need the student to be in person in the campus, but we are dealing with that. We are solving that matters that the student they can have the visual access even if they are at home. And I want to apologize to the student, and please, I'm encouraging the student to email to us and send us those queries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please just drop us your contact details in the chat box so our students can have access to it. Can we have the next question, please?
Okay, this one is from Grace. She says, my question is based on agriculture because I'm currently studying animal welfare, hoping to study veterinary nursing, and I did not have maths. My question is, will I be able to study veterinary nursing without maths?
Good afternoon. At UNISA at the moment, we don't have veterinary nursing, but I think University of Pretoria does have that. With regard to mathematics, I think it's compulsory to have maths that side. I'm not certain about that one.
Thank you, Doc. Can we have our next question, please?
A question from Lungisani. I would love to know how to register myself with the professional board as a fresh graduate with no experience, and what is the importance of being registered. I graduated with Bachelor of Science Honors in Geology. Thanks.
Please repeat the question for our speakers.
All right. Thanks. Lungisano would love to know how to register with the professional board as a fresh graduate with no experience, and what is the importance of being registered. I graduated with Bachelor of Science honors in geology.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, can I answer that one? Though we do not have geologists here. I'm not sure of the requirements of being registered with the professional board of geologists, but I will just give you a general answer because we have indicated that you will need, like it's beneficial to you as a member for your development in whatever work you will find yourself in. But when you are still a student, it might not really have impact your career in anyhow. Because again, you will have to pay. In most companies, it's the companies that are paying those membership for us. But I have seen another one asking if he or she will be able to get a job if it's not registered with this professional board. You will. This is just an additional requirement of which an employer need. It will not add your advantage of getting a job or not. I hope I tried to answer your question, but then you can go further on Google to check the professional board that geologists should be registered with and what are their requirements and how that will benefit you.
Thank you so much for that. Can we have our next question, please?
Chair, Mr. Ludovi's hand was up. I thought maybe he wants to add on that.
Yeah, I just want to add on, like, on what Dr. Seminya was saying. Yeah, from fresh, Mr. Nkosi, you can register, like you can register with any professional bodies according to their categories. Like, for example, if you are from engineering side, you register fresh as a candidate and you'll get the project, but you need to have the mentor and the referee, and you need also to have a project, because we need to, the main purpose of being registered is like, are you competent enough? And I normally encourage the student that education, you can study all the qualification in the world. The most important thing that you need to get through education, it is the skill. Are you able to utilize your skill out there? Doesn't matter which, but are you able to utilize that skill? So the students are encouraged to visit the website and check which category they can register. And the most important thing, they must have mentor and supervisors. Thank you.
Okay. Google, can I read the next one?
Yes, please.
Okay. This one is from Cindy Swa. She says, I'm currently doing a higher certificate in environmental science, and I would like to know if I can work after completing this qualification, or do I have to continue?
Okay, employment, then you will have to meet the requirements of the employer. If there is any employer that would like to have a candidate with a higher certificate, then you can apply for those kind of jobs. But then in academia, the minimum you will need, it will be a master's degree, an honors actually, an honors degree for a junior lecturer. So with a higher certificate in academia, it will not work unless there are other organizations that will like to have someone with a higher certificate. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you still have more questions?
Yes, a question from Sipo. Sipo would like to know, when is UNISA going to offer a master's program in mining engineering?
The question be repeated.
No, SIPO says, when is UNISA going to offer master's program in mining engineering?
So, Dr. Peter? So,
Mr. Ledwaba?
Can you answer? I'm not sure, Dr. Mutibiri, can you try to answer the student?
I will not be able to answer it because I don't have inside info in mining.
Okay, can we move on to our next question, please?
Okay, this one is addressed to Dr. Semenya, and it's from Ongeziwe. She says, Dr. Semenya, what needs to be done to ensure that the South African law or the Constitution takes environmental violations seriously, as are given the same value as any other offences?
I have replied on the chat.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Next question from Ezra Debe. She says, I've completed BA Environmental Management in 2019, still no job. What would be your suggestion on getting practical experience? Do you have any assistance for your environmental graduate in this regard?
Replied to that one as well on the chat.
Okay, thanks.
Colleagues, it's 1 o'clock. Let's open questions for students so they can raise up their hand, then we can take questions. Then later on, go back to the chat again. Thank you. Continue, Marcelina.
Okay. Please just help me with the hands of the students because I don't seem to be able to see their hands.
Yeah, I saw a hand from SIPO. If SIPO is still available, then you can pose a question.
Good afternoon, how are you?
We're good, thanks, and you, SIPO. Please just pose your questions.
Okay, my question is about the use of software. I hope the previous speaker covered the question, but I'm not sure if I was correctly answered. That question, it has to do with the use of software, because we can see in the mining department and mechanical and civil as well, we need to use software to do some project. So I want to know if maybe UNISA is having that kind of lab whereby we can be able to go to use the lab to do the practical as well in the use of softwares.
Thank you.
Mr. Sipo.
Yes.
So which software are we talking about? Because we've got a lot of software, especially in civil.
I'm talking about the one in mining now. I'm doing mining engineering. We have a project to use any software, sort of like data mining. We've got a lot of software that we can use. Apparently, some are not in the market, but we can't be able to have them.
Yeah, but the way we package our qualification, if there is a software that is needed at the university, we are able to acquire or procure that software. You understand? And we've got the lab. Mining also have the lab, civil has the lab, and mechanical has the lab, and even including the industrial, whereby is the state-of-the-art lab. And you are also welcome. Where are you? Where are you based?
I'm basically in Mpumalanga.
In Mpumalanga.
Yes.
You can also go to the region and you ask them to contact your department directly at the region.
Okay, I'll definitely do that.
Yes. Or you can just drop me an email, then I'll forward to the relevant people in mining engineering.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We also have a hand from a Gavin. Gavin, are you still available?
Can you unmute me, please?
You've been unmuted.
This question is directed to Professor Mabele and also Dr. Humotso Semenya. It goes like this.
Please unmute your mic, Gavin.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Given, please unmute. You muted again.
Is it unmuted now?
Yeah, now you proceed.
Okay. This question goes to Professor Mabele and Dr. Humotso Semenya. To Professor Mabele, have you tried the use of far UVC lights for the prevention of livestock infections? And to Professor Semenya, to Dr. Humotso Semenya, how would you recommend the use of far UV lights in this era of COVID-19? Because as we are quite aware, far UV lights has the potential of destroying airborne pathogens. Can you recommend the use of these far UV lights in most of the occupied areas like retail shops, doctors' offices, and such areas? That's my question. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can our two speakers please try to answer the questions for us?
Okay, I think I will go first then on the UV lights. You're asking if I will support the use of UV lights, if I heard you correctly. Kevin? Okay, I will just respond to what okay. Kevin?
Yes, that's correct. I'm saying it's correct.
Oh, okay. Remember before I reply to, as I've said, that we do research. I will need to check what these UV lights can do as compared to other lights before I can then say I am supporting the use or I do not. I think a research will need to be done. If there is any research that is done and I'm not aware of, I will then check first before I answer your question, but it's more about research. Is it doing what it's supposed to do in terms of the environment, in terms of saving energy maybe? Only then can I say I support or not.
Can I get your email so that I can correspond with you further on your research? Because there's a lot of white papers which have circulated on the use of far UV lights. They've proven to be effective and whilst not being harmful to human tissue.
Now, if they have positive benefits to the environment, then I do not see why they shouldn't be used.
Okay, thank you. That's answered.
Okay.
Gavin, I think Dr. Mabele is having technical problems at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, for now, these are all the hands that I'm seeing. I don't know if, Master, you can see any other hand on your side.
No. If then there's quite more questions, let's go back to the chat. Colleagues, can you also come up with questions?
Okay, I think we've missed Lydia's question. She's posting for the second time now. She says, good afternoon, Dr. Semenya. My name is Lydia Litualo. I work as a chemist with an analytical chemistry qualification. I'm completing an environmental management degree with UNISA soon. My question is, how do I transition myself into environmental field without related experience?
Okay, Lydia is working as a chemist and with an analytical chemistry qualification. You will find that what we are doing as environmental scientists and what analytical chemists are doing is more of the same thing. I was teaching a module, I think 2 years back, environmental monitoring. That module was pure analytical chemistry. So now it will not be difficult. With your experience as a chemist, you can transit easily into environmental space. You will also be guided by the requirements of the employer. What are they looking for? Maybe they will have a heading, which is environmental scientist. But when you see the requirements there, you will see that they are actually related to what you are doing as an analytical chemist. That is how then you will transit. I hope you are answered.
Okay, Google, through you, can I read the last one? I think it's
Yes,
the last
please.
one.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, this is from Grace. She says, what can I study after completing a higher certificate in animal welfare? Because I heard we need to have maths to qualify for diploma in animal health. May I repeat the question?
Yes, please. I think this will go to Dr. Sebola.
Okay. Grace says, what can I study after completing a higher certificate in animal welfare? Because I heard that we need to have maths to qualify for diploma in animal health.
Thank you.
Can I try to answer? Oh, okay, Ms. Bola.
I'm not certain if doing the certificate gives you access to be able to register the diploma in animal health, but I can find more information on that for you. Who's requesting the info?
The question is from Grace.
Okay, Grace, I can you can get my email address and then I can exchange some info with you if you'll be able to be register diploma in animal health after doing the certificate. I'm not certain about that yet.
Okay, thank you.
Are those all the questions we have?
Security is up to standard for the
Okay, we just got a question that says, good afternoon, Dr. Mabelebele. What qualification is needed to become a junior lecturer in animal health, as I'm interested in joining the academia, but my problem is the work experience and I'm still studying advanced diploma in animal health. Still interested to continue with my studies. Thank you. I don't know if, okay, please answer for us.
Yes, to be able to be a junior lecturer at our department, you need to have a master's degree.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Please don't forget to fill in our evaluations form if you haven't done so already, and thank you if you've done so already.
Chair, if there is no questions, because it's 1:12, then we can request Dr. B. Bizwana to render the vote of thanks for us. Dr. Bizwana.
Thank you so much, colleagues, and for giving me this opportunity. As we come to the conclusion of our event or our whole or our session, it gives me great pleasure to extend my gratitude and my compliments to you, program directors. You have done such a sterling job. You really were on time and very professional in the way you have handled the session, and you really steered us so well. And again, it will be unfitting for me not to extend my gratitude to the hosting region, North-Eastern region. You really did a great job. You reminded us of the importance of agriculture in our lives, especially now that this is a talk for everybody, that we need to go back to our roots and we need to start farming and ensure that we are able to feed our families. It was a very informative session. Going to the speakers, let me extend my appreciation to Professor Sebota Mongwagaye, who welcomed everybody to the session, but I think he forgot to actually note and inform the candidates as well as the attendees that this is a collaborative effort between North-Eastern region as well as Gauteng region. We are working together as regions so that we can promote teamwork, and by that we'll be able to reach lots of students within our areas. So that was a collaborative effort, Professor Sepota. That is something, but we thank you for having welcomed us in this platform. Ms. Mabua, one of our student counselors, she has passion in ensuring that our students are, of course, informed about their careers as they leave the world of university. We thank you for having given us the purpose of the day. I was so actually impressed also by having seen in our midst the SRC chairperson, Mr. Sambo. It was good to have you on board. We really need people like you to always encourage our students, knowing that you are making a difference also in their study career. We thank you for having been part of us. And I will group our speakers to thank them. I was so impressed by our program because we had very young ladies. I wasn't even so much glued to agriculture and mining and animal health, but I was so impressed by the young ladies that we saw in our program. Professor Mabelebele, Dr. Semenya, as well as Dr. Sebola, they are young ladies and who really portrayed passion in the work that they are doing. You have really encouraged our students. I really think we are going to work closely, believe that we are going to work closely with you so that we can encourage our young girls to go into that field and know that it is not only a field for men, gentlemen, it is a field also for ladies. I'm so proud of you, young ladies. That is really commendable. And for reminding us that we really need to take care of our animals. We really need to know how important these animal species are in our lives. We appreciate the knowledge that we shared with our students, with us. We feel so educated and empowered today. Mr. Lidwaba and Mr. Mutsana. Oh, no, let me start by Mr. Lidwaba, chemical engineering. This is a field, again, that is so scarce And for us to have been, for you to have been in our midst, we appreciate the knowledge that you shared with us. It was very, very educational, and we hope that our students have learned what we have also learned. The career paths that we're able to share with our students, I hope when they leave the space, they know exactly what is expected of them in the world of work. Also agriculture, that also reminded us how important agriculture is in our life. Without it, we are not going to have food. We really appreciate you, Mr. Mutsana, for having reminded us of the importance of agriculture. And we see the trend today. Everyone, young boys, young girls are trying to start agricultural fields in their homes, and we need to go back to our roots, go back to where we come from, the villages, and start planting so that we can be able to feed ourselves and the people who are disadvantaged among our families and our communities, of course. And mechanical and industrial engineering, Dr. Pita, we also thank you for sharing the information on the registration field and the CETAs that are around for our students, that they can go and get experiential learning, as well as different fields that they can go into as they go to the world of work. We really appreciate the information that you have shared, and we hope our students have learned that, because at times when they do qualifications like that, mechanical and industrial engineering, they may get into such field without knowing what will happen when they complete. As we had some students asking questions on, I have graduated, then what I can do. So the information, colleagues, that we have shared today was very, very vital, very relevant. And we believe that our students going forth, leaving this space, they will research more, because I believe there is still space for them to research so that they can be able to know more fields that they can go into as they start marketing and looking for jobs in this world. And to the people who handled the question and answers, thank you, Zela, thank you, Ntabiseng, and thank you, Mr. Maluleka. We appreciate you for having run this, the session so well. And I don't remember seeing the ICT analyst, but in absentia, if he was there, thank you so much, Temba or Mr. Ramaru, for having been willing and been present to be in our space. And in conclusion, it will be unjust if I say I don't thank our students who took time to attend this session and be able to learn more on what we as counseling staff do for our students. We appreciate you, and we hope that even with the coming events, you will be able to join us so that we can share more information with you. Everybody who was involved in planning the session, everyone who's behind the scene, who made the session to be a success as it is today, I would like to send my appreciation and my gratitude. Thank you so much for being you, and thank you so much for being present today. And I would like to thank everybody for attending. Thank you and thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that word of thanks. And thank you to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Those that could not find the evaluation form, it's just been posted again in our chat box. So please fill it in just before you log out. And thank you for joining us.
How? There's no lunch.
I think we may now proceed to our kitchens and have some lunch.